Good morning, ACLC. Dan here to discuss what's going on with the Introduction to Circuits lab. First, what I'm going to do is go over the worksheet, and by worksheet I mean just lab instructions for it, and then we're going to sort of dive into the virtual lab construction kit and sort of see how that works. With this lab that you all are doing, you're going to be creating a simple circuit which will utilize some resistors in series and parallel. And what it means, the difference between in series and parallel, when they're in series, they come one right after each other, and when they're in parallel, they're sort of like rungs on a ladder, parallel to each other. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to predict whether the current will change when you arrange a resistor in series and in parallel. So you're going to be testing a circuit with resistors in two different manners and seeing how that affects the current. And really the question you're trying to ask yourself is, which arrangement do you think will allow greater current to flow? Will it be when they're in series, or will it be when they're in parallel? So you're going to have to design a simple circuit, and you're going to consider the equations we've been using, V equals IR, or in this case the other form, I equals V over R. And you're going to sort of do some measurements and test it out. So what we'll do is switch over to the lab. And so what we have here is the sort of virtual lab on PhET, which I gave you the links to on the distance learning doc, as well as will be available on the assignment in Jupyter. And what's going to happen is you have things like a light bulb, battery, wire, resistor, and so you're going to be able to sort of put these things around, and then you also have an amp meter, which will have to go in your circuit. So you'd basically, to use the amp meter, you would sort of connect one wire here, you'd connect another wire here. Your battery needs a circuit, your circuit needs a battery. You could also do a light bulb, and then we could just go bam. And this is just with one resistor, and you can see the current is this. So you'd write down the information that the current is 4.45 amps. And then one of the things you can do is, so then you don't have to delete things, you can snip it. If you click on individual items, like so if you click on the resistor, you can sort of see the amount of resistance it has. You're perfectly fine leaving all of your resistors at 10 ohms. Similar to your batteries, you can leave them all at 9 volts. And you'll be perfectly fine with that. But basically what you'll be doing is sort of testing this experiment, trying to figure out how things work in series versus parallel. So if you have, like, what you might want to do is, so you have two resistors up in parallel, or in series right now, and so you connect it, you read the amperage, and so you'd write that down, and then what you would do is you would rearrange your thing. So now it's in parallel, and when we have in parallel, we need to connect sort of both ends. And then we can do this, and then last but not least, let me actually give this some more room. And do a wire. And then, well, bam. And then you record the current here. And so that's what would be sort of going on with all of this. So you're going to sort of play around, record some data. I would suggest you do about three arrangements in series, 3 arrangements in parallel, using the same number of resistors. So if you starting at 2, so you'd start with 2 resistors in series, and then go to 2 resistors in parallel like here, and then continue on to 3 resistors in series and 3 resistors in parallel, and compare it all to just if you had only one resistor in the whole thing, and how the resistance compares between all of them, how the current compares. Alright, so that's what's going on today. As always, I'll be in the Discord if you have any questions, and good luck.